Devil's Island. Surrounded by shark-infested waters, in the thick of the jungle, many prisoners go mad here from the isolation. Located in French Guiana, on the north coast of South America, the prison consists of a large camp on the mainland and 3 islands 10 miles off the coast, Ile Royale, St. Joseph, and the smallest of them all, at only 35 acres, is Devil's Island itself.
Devil's Island was used mainly to isolate people. Ile Royale is the administrative center and where they had the largest jail. St. Joseph was used for solitary confinement.
The penal colony officially opens in 1852.
A penal colony is a distant form of punishment. The idea is obviously to expel the convict, to placing them in another location.
France wanted to eliminate, as far as possible from the French mainland, its undesirables. French Guiana became the principal and most notorious penal colony that France was running in the 19th and 20th centuries.
It is so difficult to escape Devil's Island. It's surrounded by treacherous waves and currents, rocks, sharks. It's turbulent and difficult. The mainland especially filled with all kinds of wild animals, insects, all kinds of snakes, every kind of pest. It was brutal.
But one man is willing to try and beat the odds and be the first person to escape the madness at Devil's Island, even if it means losing his life. Charles de Rudio. An Italian nobleman, Charles de Rudio has something of a Napoleon complex. This has nothing to do with his height, but rather the crime he commits against Napoleon III.
Napoleon III was Napoleon Bonaparte's nephew, initially elected to President of France in 1848 and anointed himself the Emperor of France in 1851.
Charles de Rudio got involved with a plot to assassinate Napoleon III, the French emperor who had supported the church and was against the Italian unification. They threw a bomb at Napoleon III's carriage. He didn't die. He and the others were sentenced to death by guillotine.
His wife's extensive connections spared de Rudio the guillotine, but he's sent away to Devil's Island for life.
He was sentenced to hard labor. They made prisoners chop down trees in the jungle. De Rudio almost immediately decided he had to escape.
While felling trees, de Rudio comes up with a plan. He recruits 9 men to carve out a canoe from one of the largest trees, something seaworthy enough to let them escape. But at the last minute, the plan completely falls apart.
The day they were supposed to leave, most of them came down with yellow fever, so that escape was over before it began.
Months of hard work and planning is all for nothing. But de Rudio is not the kind of man to give up. Despite the treacherous sea, meager rations, and patrolling gunboats, de Rudio carries on, this time with a fresh team.
De Rudio planned another escape, and this time he had what he thought would be good, reliable crew members.
What de Rudio needs is a new boat. He and his team watch the fishing boats that come to shore, waiting to strike.
In a moment where there was a lack of vigilance on the part of the guards, he stole a boat.
De Rudio and the other escapees sail away into the turbulent ocean. They spend 3 days at sea battling harsh, stormy weather and dense fog.
A lot of their food was ruined from the salt water, but they kept going. They did not want to go into Dutch Guiana.
De Rudio and his men are aiming for British Guiana. over 350 miles away. If they set foot upon Dutch Guyana, they will be extradited back to Devil's Island.
The Dutch ship did come near them, but ignored them, so they were happy with that. Then ultimately, as they got further out into the ocean, a British ship saw them, and the British ship brought them to British Guiana, where they were received cordially.
British Guiana also in this case did not hand the Rudio back to the French authorities, even though there was a request from the French consul.
The story of Charles de Rudio does not end on the shores of British Guyana, but rather in the United States.
He made his way to the United States, where his story continues in the Civil War and then with General Custer.
He is involved in one of the most famous battles in American history, Custer's Last Stand. Custer and his troops were massacred. There were only a couple of survivors. One of them was de Rudio.
De Rudio was one of the lucky ones. He got out, but very few shared his fate. Of the estimated 70,000 prisoners interned at Devil's Island, only 5,000 survived, most of whom never returned home to France.